Today we're going to be talking about winning while feeding in the top lane. Every game in ranked solo queue has at least one person feeding, and sometimes that feeder is you. Maybe you're trying out a champion you're not familiar with, maybe your lane opponent is a lot better than you, or maybe you're just having a bad day. In any event, you're going to be dying, and you're going to be dying a lot as your opponent destroys you in lane. Meanwhile, if the enemy jungler is a douchebag, he's probably going to come after you while you are down to see if he can demoralize you and drive you out of the game. The best part is that your team will probably harass you a lot for feeding, as if that will somehow make you feed less, but that's all part of the package that comes with being a feeder. Now that you know what to expect, these are the necessary steps that you need to take to win despite losing horribly early on. If you got destroyed in lane, then odds are that you're getting abused every time you go back into lane, and you will be zoned off CS and experience. So the first thing you need to do is get the hell out of that lane. If there is another lane that your allies have won already, go farm that lane and have them rotate out of there. In this example, I've gone to the bottom lane to farm with Aurelia after Shen destroyed me in the top lane. This allows me to farm up the items that I need that I would not be able to farm up in lane otherwise. But it could be so early in the game that all lanes are still active. In that case, go gank another lane and force down the enemy turret. In this example, I got wrecked by the Aatrox up top and I had no chance of staying in lane against him, so I rotated mid and forcefully took down the enemy mid turret as Tryndamere. This way you're securing objectives which will allow you to win the game despite your inability to continue laning against your lane opponent. The moment you're active on other parts of the map, your lane opponent will undoubtedly push the lane and he might actually take your turret. This might seem counterproductive at first, but when you're getting destroyed in lane, losing your turret is actually the best possible thing that can happen to you. It finally frees you up to farm without getting harassed by your lane opponent. Now let's talk about your build. If you're a tank or a bruiser, you only have one build. You may build any single core offensive item, followed by a full tank build. In this case on Aurelia, I'm going to go for a Triforce, followed by building durability. You are simply too far behind to make any good use of additional offensive items. Now while it is important for you to farm up these items, it's much more important that you be there for your team when they're about to push for objectives. In this example, I'm farming up top while Orianna gets caught by Blitzcrank at mid and my team gets wiped out in the skirmish that follows. It's not about who did right or wrong here, but the fact is, had I been there this fight, it could have gone very differently, as we'll see in the next sequence of events. You as the feeder building one offensive item followed by full durability are expendable. If someone is going to get hit with crowd control, it should be you, not your teammates. Your value to your team is now in your ability to soak up damage and provide crowd control. This essentially means always being with your team as they push for objectives and always being in the front line. You can't go running to the back letting your allies out in front of you. There's a reason you're building tank while behind, and that is that you're not worth a whole lot offensively, but if you do manage to draw a focus fire to yourself that would have gone to your teammates instead, it can allow you to win skirmishes at the cost of your life. In this example, as we push forward, I'm constantly staying in front of Jinx because I cannot risk her getting pulled in by Blitzcrank, and as a result, I get pulled in by the enemy Blitz myself. I get focused down by the enemy team while my team wipes out the enemy Shen. The enemy team just traded their 8-5 Shen for an 0-6 Aurelia. This is a win for my team as they get yet another enemy turret. Ultimately, the largest turning point comes 25 minutes into the game when I'm 1 kill to 8 deaths and my team is going for the Infernal Dragon. Jinx is ranged, Orianna is ranged, and I'm melee, so I'm going to be closer to the dragon while my carries are on the outside. Just as we get the dragon, the enemy team shows up, and I'm safe because I was closer to the dragon while my teammates are in danger. Blitzcrank can easily grab Jinx at this point, so I'm going to put myself between Jinx and Blitz and I get pulled in instead. I've got a lot of armor at the moment, which means a lot of the CC and damage I'm about to take is wasted on me as it is not directed at my team. Lulu ults me to make me last a bit longer, and Orianna uses this as an opportunity to land a 4-man ultimate. Jinx follows up with her ult, and it's a huge turnaround, all for the price of one feeding Aurelia. At the 28-minute mark, my team is pushing into the enemy base, and I've taken a lot of damage getting us there. Orianna misses her ultimate, and Elise flashes in, going for a play on the enemy Victor. Now, Elise is doing a lot of damage for our team. Was this a good play by Elise? Probably not. But because she's gone in, I too will go in and try to redirect the enemy focus fire to myself, dying in the process, allowing my team to pick up the ace. If the last bit of damage I soaked up had been directed at Elise, Lulu, or Orianna, we would have easily lost 2 of them as they were not built for durability. By building one core offensive item followed by durability and constantly putting myself in between my teammates and any harm that might come to them, we were able to win this game despite going 1-10 on Aurelia. Now I know what you might be thinking. Sure, that's great if you like to play bruisers or tanks, but what if you like to play feast or famine carries who are useless in teamfights? In that case, you can make the best use of your time by being a split push nuisance to the enemy team. Push all the waves, take all the turrets, and help yourself to the enemy jungle while you're at it. You might have fed in lane, but the enemy team will feel intense map pressure as you chip away at their base, which will eventually produce favorable conditions allowing you to win the game. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe to the channel, follow on Twitter, and check out the video links on either side. Leave a comment about the kind of content you'd like to see in future videos, and check out the Patreon link if you'd like to support this channel directly.